How's it going? Welcome to the channel. If you love cooking and making pottery, this is the tutorial for you. Today, we're making Dutch ovens. Woo! If you're new here, these videos are long form demos on the pottery wheel. If you're wanting something straightforward with a lot of cutting and editing, this is probably not the video for you. I do make mistakes, try not to, but these videos are going to be packed full of information on wheel throwing, and hopefully by the end of it, you'll be able to follow along and make a Dutch oven. These are pretty fun and challenging, and they're also useful. Like, you could use these for cooking pot roasts. You can cook rice in it. What else? Oatmeal, maybe? I don't know. It's up to you. If you love cooking, I'm sure you'll think of this and be like, oh, I can make this or this. So I hope this video helps, and let's just get on to it. To make this simple, let's break down the Dutch oven into its two parts. We got the lid and we got the body. If I take away the lid, what shape are you seeing? Okay. Did you say a bowl? Ta-da! Sorry. Okay, this is literally just a large bowl. If you haven't seen it yet, I made a video about mastering the bowl, and in today's tutorial, we're going to be using techniques from that video. So if you want to click away and watch that, you can. If not, you could just watch me do it here and it'll be a lot faster. So get your clay, let's make the bowl. All right, this is 4 pounds of clay. If you did watch the video on the bowl, this is 1.5 pounds more than the one I made there. Same process. Just gonna get this slap centered on. It looks a little off still. All right. It's off, you could always just push it back. Don't hurt yourself on this. It's best just to tap center before trying to get it stuck on there. Now we can add a little water. Going up, going down. Okay. I think my clay has some air bubbles in it, so I'm gonna do that again. If you listen while you cone up and cone down, you might be able to hear bubbles popping. And if you do hear that, that is a sure sign you have air bubbles. So maybe cone up and cone down again. Okay. I hate air bubbles, and when I make a bowl, it's just not fun because I love having a really nice smooth surface, and the air bubbles just ruin all of that. Okay. All right, hopefully that did it. There we go. It's always a struggle centering larger amounts of clay, like 4 pounds for me at least. Okay. Make sure to leave some clay at the lip. We don't want to thin that out too much. And don't thin out the bottom too much, because we're going to stretch this. Okay. There we go. This one's looking good. Maybe I'll try one more. If you're not good at thinning out the clay, maybe increase your pounds of clay to 5 pounds maybe, so you don't have to go that thin and you could just trim it off later. For me, I don't know why I do this to myself, but I just like to throw as thin as I can, even though it gives me problems like wobbliness. Okay. Slow down the wheel a little bit here. Kind of pulling outwards. Not going perfectly straight up. Okay. That's good right there. All right. If you're still here, think about subscribing. I'm trying to grow this channel. It's crazy to think that a month and a half ago, I only had 50 subscribers. And as I'm making this video, I think I'm like almost at 1,000. So it's really cool. I hope to meet each and every one of you. So hit the subscription button. Don't forget about the bell icon. Love to connect with you guys. Leave a comment. Let's have fun. Probably gonna have to split this video up into 2 parts. One of just making them, and then the other part of trimming them to fit and decorating them. Okay. There we go. So just make a nice V shape like that. Remember to get all the water out while you can. One interesting thing here that I learned is the further you push out your cylinder, the faster the edge goes because it's not as close to the middle. So if you're at a medium speed, right here might be moving really fast without you thinking about it. So slow down a little. All right, let's see. Where's my little... This always happens. Oh, it's right here. Okay, cool. Clean up this lip a little. The lip actually kind of curved inward a little. So let's push that in before we work on other stuff. Slowly let go. All right, that's good enough for me right there. You gotta be careful because whenever you're applying pressure up here, you're risking everything twisting down there. All right, so Kemper rib. Let's stretch this out to a nice bowl shape. Don't forget to breathe while you're doing this. When I first started, and I think I still struggle with it, I always hold my breath. And that's not good. Don't hold your breath. You might pass out. All right, there's our first pass. Let's do maybe one more. Try and get this down. Okay. All right, as soon as you do that one right there, you're really, you really want to be careful. It's so weak right down here. Do I want to do more? Well, let's do one more. Hopefully I don't go too far this time. If you go too far when you're pushing down here, it's gonna collapse. All right. Part one complete. Make a bowl. Done. Let's just clean this up a little bit right here first. All right, so the more circular you can get it here, the easier your lid construction will be. Okay. That's right. Maybe I'll use a tool. Let's try putting a line right here. One finger on the inside of the bowl, the other just... All right. There's a little line. Perfect. All right. I'm I'm gonna be trimming this, so I'm not even gonna worry about cutting down there. Let's cut this off and get started with the lid. Oh, you know what I forgot? You're supposed to measure the thing with calipers. That'll help. All right. Get you a caliper. It's really important. We want the inside of our pot, or lid, I mean, to go on the inside of this measurement. So make sure you're measuring directly from the middle. Don't be measuring way out here or way over there. Just try and eyeball it. Okay. That looks right to me. Cool thing with bats is you could always, ooh, my measurement changed. You could always pick it up and check without having to cut it. Is that right? Okay, that's good. Spend a lot of time measuring, okay? Don't just get a bad measurement and now you have to start all over. Okay. Now we're doing the lid. Let me wash my hands and I'll be right back. We're back. Now we're making the lid. So, any guesses as to what we're doing here? Give you some time to think. All right, let me do this. Whoa, oh my word, is your mind blown? What shape is that? It's another bowl. We're just making bowls, okay? It's nothing complicated. If you can make a big bowl and a smaller bowl with a gallery and flange, you can make a Dutch oven. All right, so we got our measurement with the calipers. This one is a little of like a flatter kind of design. I'm probably gonna go for a more rounded. So mine might look more like a globe than like a top hat that's flat. So let's get on with it. All right, this time we have 3.5 pounds of clay. Same bowl process. So let's get to it. We're a little off here. See what that looks like. There we go, that's better. These lids are a little tricky. Right there. When you're centering the clay, you really just gotta push. Okay. There you go. Uh-oh, I'm feeling a couple bubbles. That's not good. For the lids, you don't have to, or you need to push down a little more because we're not trimming a foot. So make sure you don't leave a lot of clay right there, or you're just gonna have to trim it off later. There we go. All right, let's see how wide we are with our measurement. Just to see if we're kind of in the ballpark. Yep, we're definitely getting there. For these, you could always stretch out the clay to an extent, but if you go too wide, it's very difficult getting it to go back in. So make sure you go carefully on each little step here. All right, let's see where we are. Uh-oh, that messed up my measurement. Let's see. Nope, we're still good. Okay. Always keep double checking because sometimes the calipers move. Don't want to put all this time and effort into something and turns out your caliper was not correct. We're shooting for the lip of our bowl here to go inside the measurement. That way, if you have any condensation building up on the roof of the lid on the inside, then once it accumulates and starts dripping down, it goes back into the pot rather than spilling out on the outside edge. All right, let's see. Okay, we're definitely gonna be inside, but I don't know if I'm really loving this shape. Don't forget to leave the lip thick here. If you don't forget, or if you do forget to leave some clay at the top, you'll have to restart. So don't make that mistake. All right, we could go just a little wider. But I'm already looking really thin, so you know what? Let me do this. All right, let's see where that puts us. Perfect. The calipers making a line right there. And that's right where we need to be. So if you push down on one of the sides, my wheel is spinning counterclockwise. So if you push down on the right side, you can kind of make a mark just to visualize where you're at. But if you push down on the left side, it's gonna dig in. So don't do that. All right. So I'm gonna pick half of this. Let me just add just a little water. Okay. Half of this width right here, I'm just gonna start to push down. There we go. Round it out a little bit. See if we're still on where we need to be. Good. Remember, our lip right here needs to be on the inside of this measurement, and we're right perfectly there. Good. So let's just push this out. Okay, right here. We're gonna have a dome shape on this Dutch oven, not a flat top, like the example I had earlier. A lot more circular. Okay, let's double check. All right, we're there. I actually think we could probably pop it out a little. Yeah, let's see. Always good to keep measuring and measuring and measuring. Yeah. So we need to be right on the inside of that. And we are. So we're looking good. Yep. All right, let's smooth out our edges here. We can get a lot more detail in the trimming stage. So as long as you get the measurement right and you like the overall shape of your lid, this is perfectly fine to finish. We'll trim right here and make that flat spot. Put some nice lines, some good details in there. All right. Trying to decide if I want to test and see if this fits before I finish. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So you could always test whether or not your lid is going to fit, especially if you don't cut it off yet. So before I cut this off, let's just pop it off the wheel head here, and you just gotta remember that it's still stuck there. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but let's just see here what it's gonna look like. All right, so that's why you test. This part right here, I would like it to be longer. Right now, it isn't going out as far as I want it to. So let's go, bring it back, and let's make it just a little wider, and we'll be golden. Have a good amount of clay right there. So let's just thin it out a little. might see it got a little warped from us doing that, but for the most part, it's perfect still. Okay. So I'm just gonna bring out some clay, push that down, thin it out a little. And if you have a finger pushing underneath right here and one on top, voila, it's gonna get wider. Perfect. Just don't go too much. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Smooth out our edges. Okay, let's do it again. There we go. If I like it, I'm probably just going to leave it there to dry overnight. Okay, and flip. And let's see. What do I think? I think it looks okay. I just need to trim right here and push that in. Yeah, doesn't look bad, but it's not my favorite. When you have that overhang right here, it just adds a little flair. It gives a little interest to the overall shape. Okay. So do I wanna? I want to. Okay. Let's try and add a little flair. I really want it to stick out more. It just doesn't look right. Find the bat pins. There we go. Okay. Move this. Squeeze clay in between the fingers. Just trying to get as much as I can. It's a little thin right now, but you know, what can you do? That's good. I don't want it to go any thinner. Let's sponge that off. Clean up this edge a little. See, it's already wanting to start to fall on me, so it's very thin. Let's get it off. Off of there. You know, I should probably dry it out. For a pot like this, if you don't dry out this edge right here, if you don't dry it out before putting it on the pot itself, it'll actually stick and you will never be able to get it off. So let me just get a little dry gun that I have here and we'll dry this off so we can let it rest on the pot. All right, 1 second. This is a really nice heat gun I got on Amazon. You can burn yourself on this. So if you decide to get a heat gun, be very careful. I think it goes up to like 2,000 degrees. Or 1,000 probably. 2,000 is a little too much. Just point it right at that lip. Let it spin for a while. Oh, okay. There we go. All right. I was waiting for the heater to shut off so you could actually hear what I'm saying. That took forever. Okay. So this right here is not perfectly dry, but it doesn't have like a tackiness to it. And that's what we're looking for. All right. So let's flipperoo and put her on. There we go. Let's see. Oh. Oh. Move it a little bit this way. There we go. It's really important to set it exactly how you want it so that it dries that way. All right, let's see. All right. I think that's as good as I'm gonna get it for now. So let's cut it off and see the final look. Remember, we're gonna trim this top part, so don't get all caught up on that. All right, let's see. So there we go. We'll have to clean up right here. Looks like I drilled too far on the lid, so there's literally a hole right here, but I'll be able to patch that up. So that's how to make a Dutch oven on the pottery wheel. Part 2 of this video, we'll trim this up, patch this little hole I made, and we'll add some decorative handles, like something on top and on the sides. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Love to know what you have to think about this. I think it turned out pretty good. I kind of wish this was out a little bit longer, but you know, I think this is all right. All right, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.